folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, I hope you watched the video that I released just a little bit ago here on the channel. It's one that I made with a good friend of mine that has another YouTube channel that, while it may not directly connect with prepping and homesteading, it is something we all need to be, doing. And what that is having some downtime, having some family time. And he produces content that it's free to watch, and it's great content for the whole family. Old fashioned, old timey, wholesome stuff that you don't have to worry about, what's coming into your home. And so I'd encourage you to go watch the video. That he's a super great guy. His wife and his kids are amazing. And it was an honor to bring him on. And so most of all, go subscribe to his channel and give him some views too, because they're producing some good stuff. So today, it's a subject that I'm sure you've already heard. It's very new, only in the last couple of days, but it's really spreading around the internet, at least in our kind of circles. So I'm assuming that you've probably already heard about this. And it is this out of nowhere blindsided, well, maybe not so blindsided, EMP threat from Iran. Glenn Beck has covered it. A buddy over at Pinball Preparedness, he did a really good video on it earlier today. I would encourage you to go watch his video because he probably has more detail in it than I do. But I did find something that I want to share with you on that. So if you're not aware of what's going on, let me catch you up. So April 30th, April 30th, a report, which is just a few days ago, really, a couple weeks. A report was released from the EMP task force, which is part of Homeland Security. And intelligence indicates that Iran has a very credible, real, immediate intentions to detonate 2, 3, something like that, high altitude electromagnetic pulse weapons, which is, in other words, nukes into our atmosphere on the east and west coast, enough to knock out our electric grid. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, wait a minute. Iran doesn't have nukes, do they? Well, we'll get into that here in a little bit. Officially, they don't. But there's certainly intelligence going all the way back to 2003 indicating that they do have them, and they've had them for that long. But even if they don't have them, someone else does. And before I go any further, I just want to pause right here, and I want you to answer this question. Of all the countries on this planet, what are the top countries that really hate us? I mean, they hate us. Not hate us because they want to produce more than we do, or they want to make more money than we do, or they're jealous of us. But I'm talking about nations that if they had the power, they would completely wipe us off the face of this earth. They absolutely hate us, and they let it be known. They say it all the time. Well, in my opinion, those two countries are North Korea and Iran. They're very, very open about telling everyone how much they hate America. In fact, there's constant protests in Iran chanting death to America. Kim Jong-un is always talking about how he's going to destroy us. Well, they have nuclear weapons, at least 30 to 40 that we know of, which probably means that they have at least twice that many because they're so secretive. And so the intelligence indicates that Iran is trying to procure at least 2 or 3 nukes from North Korea, and they don't have intercontinental ballistic missiles, but they do have really good missiles, medium range missiles, and the belief is that they will place them on some type of cargo ship and get those cargo ships off the east and the west coast and shoot them up into the air and detonate them. And at the right altitude, these don't even have to be really big ones. And North Korea has big ones. They have 50 kiloton, or is it 50 kiloton? They have some pretty good size nukes, but they don't even have to be really, really big ones. Because how an EMP works, it's not necessarily the blast, it's the altitude. And it can go horizon to horizon. And if they do that, it could completely knock out our electric grid. Now, the report indicates that this could be happening in days or weeks. We're not talking months or years down the road that they have plans. The report says that the intelligence shows that they're wanting this to happen in days, okay, in the next few weeks. This is big deal. If this were to happen, let's just play it out. If this were to happen, it would completely knock us back to the Stone Age. There would be some hardened places in the United States, mostly military, but even that, from all the research that I've done, and I've watched some videos and read some articles from people that are way more knowledgeable than me, and they're all saying that the U.S. military's hardened, equipment is based on 1960s and 1970s, and these new, more powerful nukes will take that out too. That we have not done a good job. And as far as our regular grid, it's not hardened at all, folks. And there's a lot of debate on, if modern cars will be affected or not, and all this kind of stuff. The fact is that our grid would fry, microchips and computer chips and all that would fry, and we have no way to replenish that because it would knock out our factories and our ability to make new stuff. A few years back, the CDC, along with the Homeland Security Department, did a study, and they estimated that in the first year, 90% of the American population would be dead if there was an EMP. This threat has been going on. I mean, there's a reason why we have an EMP task force. I mean, because it's a real legitimate threat. Now, is this going to happen? Do I believe it's going to happen? I don't know. From my research, they have been talking about this at least since 2015. There was talk back then of the worry of allowing Iran to have nuclear weapon capabilities because they believed that this is what Iran wants to do because it's in their documents. They're like military training manuals and stuff. They go through talking about Iran detonating an EMP over the United States. And I've said for years, that is the perfect weapon of war. If you just want to defeat us economically, if you want to rule over us, all that kind of stuff, there's other ways. But if you want to destroy us, I mean, completely wipe us off the face of the planet, an EMP is the one to do it. And it's super easy. You don't have to be accurate. They don't have to have the fancy guiding systems or anything. It just needs to hit a certain altitude and detonate, and it's done. We won't have to worry about, any of us getting fried and any of us, vaporizing in the blast. It doesn't work that way. It actually detonates at very high altitude, creating this electromagnetic pulse that fries everything. Okay. This is a big deal. And this report indicates that Iran is working on that they've been working on this for a while, and they're getting close to implementing their plan if they haven't already implemented it. That's even the indication that there's a possibility that they're already implementing this plan and that the intelligence community has failed us on this. I want to show you the actual article. This is the actual report. This is the actual report. Let me bring you in here, and I'll click over here. So to show you that this is the real report, this is the EMP Task Force.us. If you go up here, this is the cover page. This is from the operation on national security, national and homeland security. There you go, executive director. Now let's go down here to page 7, and this is what I wanted to talk about, which is different. I don't know that I've seen any other people talking about this. If you go down here to page 7, and it reads, you can read it too. These intelligent blind spots align perfectly with U.S. monitoring gaps against Iran's nuclear program. The Defense Science Board report is tantamount to an admission that Iran probably already has the bomb. Where Iran is concerned, our intelligence community appears to have learned nothing from its spectacular failures, grossly underestimating the nuclear threat from North Korea. Does the intelligence community even know the truth about Iran's uh, Islamic bomb? Riva Kahili, the only CIA operative to successfully penetrate the scientific wing of Iran's Revolutionary Guard, claimed Iran does have nuclear weapons and offered to procure photographs. Then President Obama's intelligence community was not interested. President Trump inherited an intelligence community that disagreed with him on almost everything, and including his decision to withdraw the Iran nuclear deal. From the Iran nuclear deal. According to the intelligence community, Iran was in technical compliance with the nuclear deal, officially the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. President Biden, over objections from Israel and moderate Arab states, is giving high priority to receiving the JCPOA nuclear deal, offering billions of dollars in benefits, and removing the Islamic Revolutionary Guard from the State Department's list of terrorist organizations, despite intelligence community estimates that Iran is merely weeks from its Islamic bomb. And this was published 2 weeks ago. Merely weeks. Oh, goodness. There's a lot right there. That, I mean, this report, Homeland Security report, is flat out saying that apparently former presidents were either completely incompetent, or they were, part of a plan to allow it to happen. I don't know. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I can tell you this, that from everything that I've seen, this seems to be a pretty legitimate threat. This doesn't seem to be like one of these off the wall, things that randomly gets talked about. Now, I don't want people to panic. I don't want people to, because here's the thing, if it happens, it happens. I mean, there's nothing to stop it. If we have this little intelligence on them, then the odds are we don't have the capability of stopping them from carrying out this plan, if this is their plan. And if it happens, it happens. I mean, there are some things that you can do. For me, I think the most important thing to do, if I was told that you have 1 week to prepare for an EMP, I would make sure that I had some communications, ham radio communications, secured in some type of EMP proof container, or bury it or whatever. I'm not going to worry about cell phones because they're not going to work. Even if you buried this in a Faraday cage, it's still not going to work. Okay, the infrastructure is going to be gone. I'm not going to worry about other things at that point. Kind of like the video that I made last week, or maybe it was the week before. We're going back to the old days, folks. I would make sure that I had some kind of water source, the ability to get it. City water, anything that's being pumped isn't going to last very long. Look for natural water sources around you. Make sure you have food. I don't think anyone should run out and panic. My gut tells me that it's probably not going to happen in the next few weeks. But this has been a real threat. Let me see if I can quickly, and I didn't prepare to have this, but when I was looking this up, there were articles going all the way back to 2015 warning. Let's see if I can make this one happen here. Give me just a second, because I didn't. Let's see. I didn't have this one ready to share with you. All right. So here, Iran endorses nuclear EMP attack on the United States. And do you see that date? March 19th, 2015. I don't need any updates from you. This has been going on for a while. Okay, this isn't some new threat out of nowhere. And if what's being told in this report is correct, apparently 2 out of the last 3 administrations um, have been purposely ignoring it. I read one article that was saying that there were people back from the Reagan administration advising Bush and Obama, warning them that this was the eventual intent of Iran. And apparently nothing's been done about it. And now we're giving them money and we're encouraging them to build nukes, basically, to become nuclear. And you still wonder and question when I say that the people that are running this place want us to fail. Folks, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want you to get scared. I don't want you to panic, but I think that there's a potential for this to be a real threat. I think that, yeah, is it as threatening as is a real threat as us going to war with Russia? I don't know. This is all pretty new stuff, and no one's really talking about it. And that's the other thing that's a little worrisome. No one's talking about it, but they're talking a lot about Russia and Ukraine. Is that a distraction? I don't know. But it would not hurt to start working on your EMP, CME type of preps and plans, folks, because it looks like it's a real threat. I don't know if I would go so far to say that it could really happen, but it looks like it's a legitimate threat, if nothing else. All right, folks, that's what I wanted to show you. Be sure and check out my friends, our friends, YouTube channel. It's Hearth and Home Entertainment, and that's what previous video today was about, Hearth and Home Entertainment. But go check them out. It's a really cool YouTube channel. All right, folks, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.